Hello again, this is Alex with MasterChartsTrading.com, and this is market recap for Friday, March 5th, 2021. As always, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with others. S&P 500 gained slightly, NASDAQ and small caps lost slightly, so overall it's just a mixed bag for the week. Corporate bonds are under pressure, while treasuries are making a stand. So we will look at that and also at the long-term treasury yield. I think holding stocks for longer, makes more sense and leads to better result. And I will show you a recent trade we did for Goldman Sachs. Oil is going to new 52-week highs. We're trading energy stocks. There are several very interesting stocks recently. And we'll show you Marathon Oil and WT Offshore. Dollar is trying to make a stand. Precious metals are under pressure. Gold is so close to the bear market, so we'll see if this is it for gold. And how to trade Bitcoin and pretty much any other securities in real time. So I had somebody make a comment the other day saying that I'm not actually trading or some ridiculous thing. So I'll show you on live Bitcoin chart how to do this. And you can trade pretty much on any time frame. And I have two more newsletters. So these are paid newsletters, the elite newsletter. I will cover all of these stocks in there. You can see there's more ETFs and large caps, and there's also a little bit of forex trading. And then the stock speculator newsletter, I'm going to cover all of these stocks, and they're more speculative, so they will be covered in a separate newsletter. All right, so let's look at Bitcoin quickly. This is live chart. Bitcoin is traded 24 hours a day, and this is 1 second. You see 1 second chart. And yeah, you can trade the same way, really. So for example, we're waiting for the breakout. So this indicator is what I'm showing you here. I'm looking at this green, blue, red, and yellow lines. So you can find them at everyonecantrade.com. That's everyonecantrade.com. It will also go to MasterCharts Trading, same place. I have trading indicators. This is my core product. These lines in the chart, the green, blue, red, and yellow line. And for example, here you can see we just had a breakdown, so we would have shorted Bitcoin there, and we would have been very successful. So again, this is a 1 second chart, and you can trade continuous securities. You can trade pretty much on any time frame. 5 minutes, 4 minutes. It actually makes very little difference. For stocks, I prefer to trade on daily charts. So let's go to stocks. And I actually like stocks much more than trading forex. I just prefer it more. For me, it's more interesting, I guess, and it's just more satisfying. Okay, so S&P 500, we're trading, this is all-time record highs here on 15th of February. We pulled back a little bit. I thought we're going to continue lower. Didn't really go anywhere again. I was looking at 4-hour charts. So this is a 4-hour chart for S&P 500 E-mini futures, and I'm like, yeah, look, there's a breakdown. Don't we need to sell it, short it here? So yeah, I would have shorted it here, if we have time left in the week, but there's no time left in the week, so I wouldn't trade it. And then I would have put my stop here above the blue line at the close, and it hasn't actually closed above the blue line. I mean, it could still do it on Monday or rather Sunday evening, so we'll just stay tuned. But for now, it seems like the breakdown has been negated, and we're looking at a potential new records, maybe on Monday. So yeah, pretty amazing. Resilient stock market. NASDAQ QQQ. So I sent this to my subscribers. You can see that a few days ago, actually yesterday, we're breaking down below this. It's called, I call it weak support. This is just that. It's weak support. I wouldn't really buy or sell here. I would only take profits here if I had a position already. So, on this one, for example, if I had a position from back in April, I may have taken some profits here. But I'm just saying that this is, that is weak support. Much stronger support is, significantly lower at around 273. This is the blue line. And we're going to be waiting for a pullback. And it's not that far. So if it pulls back that far, that'll be a really good buying opportunity. So we need to see a bottom in action and then a close above the blue line like we did back in April of last year. So overall, still a bullish chart, and it really needs to do some major damage before we're gonna see a bearish turnaround. Notice today's candlestick is a hammer candlestick. It's a classical hammer candlestick. So I'm gonna make it bigger so you can see that the price attempted to push lower, failed, and then it closed actually above the entry, above the opening. So opening here at about 306, but closing today at 308. So throughout the day you can see a big drop, but then a buyout. So it's a classical hammer candlestick, and it is a sign of support. The fact that it's bottoming at, even though it's a weak support, is an encouraging sign for the bulls. So we'll see if this is going to be the bottom or we're going to continue lower towards the stronger support. Small cap, same thing, landed on the weak support. You can see that it touched it. So you can see it touched the green line. Again, not much I can do about it. It's just, for trailing purposes or for taking profits. So if you, for example, bought back here in September, one good place to take profits would have been here in late October. And if we see another pullback towards the green line and a close below it, I would consider taking profits. But for now, I would just keep it open. Right, looking now at LQD, which is investment grade corporate bonds. So investment grade corporates are sort of like between the junk bonds, between the junk corporate bonds and the more investment grade treasuries. So they're sort of in the middle. And right now we're seeing, selling in investment grade treasuries in high grade stock, high grade bonds. So looks like the higher the grade of the bond, the worse it's doing right now. So TLT, for example, the treasuries I'm going to show you in a second, are doing the worst, and the LQD is not that far behind. So, bonds are under pressure due to increase in yield, treasury yield, and the reason why it's being increased is because TLT, the treasury bonds, are dropping. So the treasury bonds, dropped close to 20% from the all-time highs that were set back here in actually March of last year. So it's been a year. And, last two opportunities were actually on the downside. So, if I had, if you listen to my previous videos, you heard the same thing. I was saying that I would have been shorting it here. And I did exit my position because I had a long position. I bought back in September. So I exited on the date of the insurrection, 6th of January here. Not because of the insurrection, but because of the price action. And you can clearly see it, right? I'm not making it up. There's the drop, and then a good opportunity to sell short, just excellent opportunity right there on 27th of January. So right this instant, I think TLT, the treasuries, are somewhat oversold, and I think we may see a rally in bonds. So this is getting into fundamental analysis and possibly intermarket analysis, and this fundamental analysis and intermarket analysis are distant second and third to just technical analysis. If I knew absolutely nothing about this thing, whatever it is, I would have still shorted it, back here on 6th of January. So right now, if you like to pick bottoms, and I don't normally do that, but if you like to pick bottoms, this could be the bottom for, intermediate bottom. But overall, the trend of treasuries are down. So if we see a bounce, and it's a significant bounce, it's we're looking at 7, 8, 10% maybe bounce, but it will bounce towards the resistance. And so once it bounces towards resistance, we would want to do something similar to what we did back in January, in late January, for example, here. So if it bounces that high, we would want to think short, to sell it once it gets there. Right this instant, I want to do nothing with it. But some people like to pick bottoms, so this would be potential bottom here. And here's TYX, Treasury bond yield. So TYX and Treasury bonds, TLT, move opposite direction. There's the breakout on the date of the insurrection, 6th of January. Again, not because of the insurrection, not because I knew something about fundamental analysis, and people just love this fundamental stuff. I am not sure why, but most likely it's because people like to sound smart and to say things that are interesting to other people. Truly, fundamental analysis, the more I fundamentally analyze stuff, the worse I do. So the best thing to do is to not do that. The best thing to do is just to look at the chart, at the lines. But looking at and looking at the chart objectively, without any kind of prejudice, this is the breakout right there on 6th of January. You can see it was clearly very profitable if you could trade this security. But you could have traded TLT, so you could have shorted it. You can see it's the opposite. So this definitely feels like a shooting star candlestick right there on the 25th of February. We had a long tail at the top, so the stock, in this case, Treasury yield moved higher, but was strongly sold off. So we're approaching it again, and there should be resistance up here, I think. So we will we will look for opportunity to sell short again. Or rather, in this case, we're going to be buying, but in the case of TLT, we need to see a significant bounce, and we'll think of shorting it again. So Treasury bond yield going higher, but so from the intermarket point of view, when Treasury bond yield is going higher, this is good for stocks, because that means that money is rotating out of bonds, because you can see the people are selling bonds and they're putting money somewhere else. Most logical place is to put money in stocks. So every time, so it's like a seesaw usually, not always, and the relationship is not exactly 100% negative. It's like minus 20 to 30%. So if bonds go down, stocks tend to go up, and if treasuries go up, stocks tend to go down. So what I'm thinking is, in the near term, like into March, if treasuries bounce, then stocks should come under pressure, and we're seeing something of that nature right now. So what I'm expecting again is a pullback for Treasury bond yield and increase in price for TLT for a little while, and then we'll see what happens to stocks. Okay, so looking at Goldman Sachs, this is a relatively recent trade. You can see that my trades are not like, hourly or anything like this. So I entered, or in this case it was an alert. This is in August. Okay, let's go ahead and enter here. Lots of time, we don't have to just like rush and try to buy that every single movement in price, like I just showed, for example, for the Bitcoin, for the 1 second chart. We just, leisurely buy stuff and hold it, and then when it goes up, we will take profits. So for example, in this case, a great opportunity to take profits would have been where I'm hovering right now in early February, because you can see the stock came up and then came down towards the green line. So green line is used to take profits. And right now it's at, if I'm not mistaken, is this record highs? Yeah, I think they're record highs. So we're at record highs, and record highs usually breed more record highs. So we're looking at most likely a continuation, but the pullback is not, cannot be ruled out. So overall, this is what I do basically. We look at the chart. If the stock closes above the blue line, we buy it. All right, let's look now at oil and other, or rather at oil, and see how the price action has been doing. I mean, it's just wild. Back here in April of last year, it went to -40. So if you bought it back here, it went from -40 to +66. That's a sweet gain. So right now we're at 52-week highs, and oil. I mean, I don't normally trade oil. I trade it occasionally. Last time it was tradable for my taste was like in May of last year, but I don't really trade oil that much. I mean, occasionally there are opportunities, but like you can see that there was just not a lot of opportunities. They was just going straight up. Looking at energy, so energy also is gaining, obviously, and the latest breakouts were just awesome. Here's Marathon Oil. So this is the kind of, because I mentioned that I have two blogs. When I have Speculator and I have Elite Newsletter. So in Elite Newsletter, I cover more like large cap stocks. But here in, well, let me put it this way. I cover a fixed amount of securities, fixed number of securities. But in Speculator and Newsletter, I kind of rotate things in and out. And lately, and I'm looking for a specific type of breakout. So for Speculator, I'm only looking for, this kind of thing where you can see I've been tracking this thing for a long time, where the stock has been in a downtrend. See, this is the last time, in my opinion, it was in an uptrend, where I'm hovering in October of 2018. Why? Because it was above the blue line. So at that point, it was still an uptrend. But here, back in December of 2018, it closed below this yellow line. So yellow line means that's it, done. For stocks on daily charts. If you're trading Forex, we use blue and red line. But this is stock. So from then on, you can see opportunity to sell short. So for example, right there, that would have been an opportunity to sell short. Obviously we're not trading it back then. I'm just showing this to you, where I would have sold it short. Right there again on 6th of January, I would have been very correct, of last year actually. Another opportunity to sell short right there on June of 2020. This latest opportunity to sell short would have failed, because if you bought it right there on the 14th of December, you would have gotten stopped out right there on 8th of February, where I'm hovering. I'm going to zoom in. So yes, you will have losses. And I mean, I'm not sure how to explain it, but some people think that if they trade, they will have no losses. Or the other thing is that they think that if a trader is honest about their losses, then they shouldn't be, taking their ideas. And I'm here to tell you that no single trader has no losses. Every single trader has losses. Okay, it's the how much you lose, how much money, how many dollars do you lose when you're wrong, and how many dollars do you win when you're right. So when we're wrong, we try to just cut our losses very quickly, and so this would have been a quick loss cutting right there. And so the trade from 14th of December last year into 8th of February of this year would have been just a quick loss. But here on the 8th of February, we would have bought, and it would have gained us 50%. In fact, this is an actual alert to my subscribers. So yeah, congratulations to subscribers. They just made 50% on Marathon Oil. And this is actually also a good stock to have options on. So decent stock market, options market. So this is how easy it is. Think about, just put the indicators on. It's like bicycle, riding a bicycle with training wheels. Put the indicators on, and that's it. It's pretty obvious. You buy and close above the blue line, put your stop at the yellow line, and trail higher. Initially put the stop at the yellow and then trail higher. I have a video discussion exactly how I trade, so once you sign up I can share it, and there's also a YouTube video of exactly how I trade, so I'll put a link there. Another really good opportunity was WTI. So this is I don't think it's a large cap. Let me see how big it is. WTI. Well, I mean, it's pretty big. It's 40 million shares, so it's significant. I think it's either a mid cap or probably a mid cap, I'm guessing. Same general principle. Not really thinking about anything. We're just looking at the lines. So there's the breakout where I'm hovering, 8th of February. The stock price has closed above the blue line. Closed meaning that the session has ended and the price remained above the blue line. So at this point, we're just basically buying. Also, good options market for this stock. So easily, this is 68% gain, and usually stocks and options, they relate about 3 times. So if you bought an option, that's 3 times gain. So that's like 200% gain or so. Also very, very straightforward, easy trading. So nothing out of the ordinary. I'm doing the same thing as I just showed. So you can see the stock was in a downtrend for a long time. This is the last time it was in an uptrend in November 2018 where I'm hovering, because it was above the blue line. And since then we were just thinking about shorting it. This was not a breakout. It barely touched it, I think. Let me see. Yeah, you can see that there was no breakout here back on January 2020. So it tried, but see how it didn't close above the blue line. It would have been still shorting it right there on 21st of January. And it would have been super correct. So yeah, you can be still shorting it as June of this year, still super correct. And then you would have shorted it back here probably on 21st of January, and you would have been stopped out a few days later, and hopefully you would have bought with a 68% gain. So very straightforward trading. DXY, dollar index. So we're switching gears now back, or rather towards more commodities and precious metals. So precious metals, I mean, as much as I hate, fundamental analysis, it's not really fundamental. It's more like intermarket. So since precious metals are traded in dollars, I need to know what's happening to the dollar. So this is the dollar index, currency index, and this one I think I was saying that it was trying to bottom like back in December, but I think now it's truly trying to bottom. So a rally is quite miserable. Look, see from 6th of January to now, what did it gain? It gained, about 3% or so. Looking at gold, so from January of this year, gold lost. This is gold. Same time interval, 14%. You see, so the difference is huge. And as dollar is trying to bottom, I need to think what is precious metals priced in. The precious metals are priced in dollars. So if the dollar is getting bigger, stronger, precious metals would get kind of cheaper compared to the dollar, right? So why? So XAU USD. So gold divided by US dollars. See what I'm trying to tell you? If this lower part of this equation, US dollar, getting stronger, it will pull this pair down, The opposite would happen if the gold is the upper part of this equation. Gold is getting stronger. It will pull this pair up. So, in this case, we're looking at dollar strengthening, precious metals weakening. Very good relationship. Okay, so this is called intermarket. We have intermarket relationships. Intermarket relationships are, I think, more important than fundamental analysis because you really need to know what you're trading. So we're looking here at gold, and since this is a commodity, I trade commodities between the red and the between the blue and the red line. So when the commodity is above the blue line, we buy. When the commodity is below the red line, when it closes below the red line, we short, we sell it. And you can see that we are literally at the support. We're at 1690, which is bear market. If it closes below 1690, then I think we're going to need to think of selling it, shorting it. So we're going to be looking for, if it closes below 16, it hasn't closed, it just can't try to touch it yet a couple of times. If it closes below that level, I'm going to start thinking about buying puts and buying puts on stocks of precious metal miners. Here's silver. Silver is significantly stronger. Silver is also a industrial metal, so it sort of is understandable why industrial metal is more in demand during a general bull market for stocks, because there is demand for stuff, and in this case silver is used in various industrial processes. So this is a new all-time high here on 1st of February. Notice that gold did not make an all-time high, not even. I mean, look at this. On the 1st of February, it was already breaking below support resistance at the blue line here. So I'm looking at gold more than at silver. Silver is, important, but gold is even more important. Here on the silver, what I wanted to highlight is a 4-hour chart. So on a 4-hour chart, it's very interesting because silver hasn't been in a downtrend. Here you can see from 1st of December, and this is a 4-hour chart. Again, continuous instrument. This is a continuous instrument, so yes, it can be traded on the intraday charts. But there's the breakout where I'm hovering on 7th of December at 7 in the morning. And you can see that pretty much since then it stayed above the red line. It touched it here, for example, 17th of January, it touched it again, but didn't close it below it. Let me zoom in to show you. See, it touched it right there in February, but didn't close it below it. And then again, one more time, it touched it here on 18th of February, but didn't close it below it. Again, right there, 26th of February. Finally, we're seeing a breakdown. Okay, so we're seeing a breakdown right there on the 1st of March, and this breakdown looks for real. So this trade would have been already successful if you sold short. If you shorted here on 1st of March, this is a successful trade. You could have made already, almost 4%. And with leverage, this is a nice move already. So what I'm looking for silver, I mean, it's possible it would bounce a little bit. Logical place to bounce would be towards the 26, 405. Going back to daily charts, you can see we're pretty far still from the bear market for silver. Bear market for silver is at 1865. So divergence, more or less. Gold is already testing the bear market. I mean, this is big. This is really big news for all of those people who think there's going to be inflation and who are like stockpiling gold and food and guns. There could be some disappointment, especially if we break below 1690, and we're like right there. All right, so think about that. And here's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin really, not much is happening, right now with Bitcoin. You can trade Bitcoin on any time frame, and the cool thing is you can trade it 24 hours a day. So this is a daily, so the daily time frame, but we can change it to any other time frame. So 4-hour chart, yes, we can trade on 4-hour chart. So we're buying above the blue line right here. 1-hour chart, 1-hour chart. So in this case, we would be buying it right now, actually, on a 1-hour chart. But we can even go further and we go to like 1 second. And I already showed this in the beginning of the session. So if you have a robot, I mean, it's probably impossible to trade on 1 second chart for a human. I mean, we can do 5 second maybe, but it's already difficult. So for example, here's a breakout, which potentially could be false, where I'm hovering right now. But if it breaks below, you see, I think we're about to break down. So if we break below this red line, okay, here we go. Okay, I'm sure I would, no, actually, not yet. It hasn't closed below it. But I think, yeah, okay, now it closed below it. So, okay, we're shorting right now. So we're doing this in real time, you can see. Our target is 2 average true ranges, about that much. So our average true range is a indicator which shows about how much the stock moves, and it's free. You can get it anywhere. Average true range is a free indicator. So right now the average true range is around $12 where I'm hovering. So we're expecting a drop of about 24 points. And basically right there, that's it. Okay, so that's your trade. At this point, I would have moved my stop to entry and possibly taken profits right here. So actually, you're in definite profit right now. So there's your live trade in real time. Okay, so now that we've seen this, go over to MasterChartsTrading.com. You can also go to everyonecantrade.com. It will go to the same place. So sign up for trading. All of my packages, I have 3 kind of like popular packages. And I also have all of these things separately. So if you're interested in just buying like one of those things and not bundles, just send me a message, contact me. But if you just want to get this is actually really, there's a reason why I bundled them this way, is because some people just like to trade on their own and they don't want to, any input from me or from anybody else. They just want the indicators. So like, for example, this trade would have been already quite successful. And notice it's a 5-second chart. So that's the indicators. If you want the Elite Trader, so Elite Trader, we cover ETFs, large caps, gold, forex, commodities, and cryptos. And here I also send out daily updates and weekly videos. So they're all listed here, and you can see what we trade. We trade lots of different securities. There's lots of different tickers. And then the speculator newsletter. So speculator newsletter is, I think, just awesome because we trade stocks, we trade options, but we also trade just really far out cool stocks that are, for example, Kronos Group. So this is my trade for Kronos Group, and this came from speculator, from the speculator bundle, from the speculator newsletter. So this is what we do. For example, I bought a call option here, 30th of call options, sorry, on 30th of December. Took profits, sold like a quarter, and just moved my stop to entry. A few weeks later, I sold a half. So you can see that I bought it at 91 cents, and here it's already $1.93. So that's a nice profit. And then it just took off, and I'm like, this is weird. I'm gonna sell it. So I closed my position at 482, and I bought it at 91 cents for 270% gain on average. So I'm just kind of trying to show you the magnitude of trades we do here at the speculator bundle, a speculator newsletter for Master Charts Trading. So without further ado, go over, subscribe. Any questions, contact me. If you Also, I have a new thing with affiliates, so you can sign up for become an affiliate and refer clients, and you will get paid for it. All right, any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Have another great trading week. Bye-bye.